All right, if you're a dev, you know the feeling. Making your UI work is one thing, but making it feel right, that can be a whole different battle. Well, today, we're diving into a new engine that promises to make all that pain just go away.
But let's be real for a second. Why is getting that buttery smooth animation so incredibly difficult? I mean, this should be the fun part, right? Adding that little bit of flair, but so often it just turns into this massive technical chore.
Yeah, we can just call it what it is, the UI animation headache. It's that constant fight to get that polished, professional motion. And if you're working with immediate mode GUIs, oh boy, you know this struggle all too well.
And this slide just nails it. This is the core frustration. If you've ever used a framework like the super popular Dear ImGui, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You end up buried in complex code, pulling in a bunch of dependencies, all for something that feels like it should be simple. It can bring a project to a screeching halt.
But what if it didn't have to be like that? Well, that's where IMAnim comes in. It's a new animation engine, and it was built from the ground up for one reason: to solve this exact problem, specifically for the Dear ImGui community.
So the big idea here is simple. Bring all the power of modern animation into your ImGui apps, but, and this is the key part, without the headache. It's all about doing it with as little code as possible, fitting right into the workflow you already know and love.
And this is basically its mission statement. Animate anything in one line. Now, that is a huge promise, right? It suggests we can finally stop fighting with the framework and start working with it. So, how on earth does it actually pull this off? Okay, time to peek under the hood. Let's get into the why and the how of IMAnim, because that one-line promise is a big claim. We got to see if it holds water.
And this is where it gets really cool. First off, it's immediate mode friendly, so it feels completely natural inside ImGui, not some awkward bolt-on. Second, and you're going to love this, zero dependencies other than Dear ImGui itself. That's a massive win. You also get a huge collection of over 30 easing functions, including realistic spring physics to make things feel bouncy and alive. It even has perceptual color blending for way better visual transitions. But my personal favorite? The layouts are responsive. The animations don't completely break when a user resizes a window. That right there is a total game changer.
All right, the features sound amazing. Maybe a little too amazing? So what's the catch? The installation has to be a nightmare, right?
Nope, that's literally it. You just add 2 files to your project, done. No messing with your build system, no hunting down external libraries. It's designed to be completely frictionless. It just doesn't get any simpler than that.
Okay, so super easy to install, fantastic. But what can you actually build with it? Let's open up the toolbox and see what kind of creative power we're really talking about here. Wow, the range of tools here is pretty incredible. Of course, you've got your basic tweens for simple values, you've got clips for timeline keyframing, and that huge easing library. But then it just keeps going. You've got paths for animating along curves, procedural tools for effects like shake and noise. You can even do style interpolation to animate your entire UI theme. This is a seriously complete package.
So we've seen the specs, but what does all of this actually look like in a real UI? Features are great, but what's the real payoff? Let's check out some examples of the kind of polish this thing unlocks. You know that super slick staggered effect, where items in a list kind of cascade into view one after another? It always looks so professional. Well, with IMAnim, creating that beautiful effect becomes trivial. It instantly makes a simple, boring list feel dynamic and alive.
And it's not just for lists either. You can apply that same exact logic to grids, creating these elegant, wave-like entrances that look incredible and really help guide the user's eye across the screen.
Think about all the modern apps you use. Those fluid, responsive card UIs are absolutely everywhere. IMAnim brings that same level of polish right into the ImGui ecosystem. We're talking expanding cards, subtle hover effects, and smooth transitions that just feel premium. And let's not forget the little details that separate good from great. This isn't just about movement. Using perceptual color spaces means when you animate from, say, blue to yellow, you don't get that ugly, muddy gray color in the middle. You get a vibrant, visually correct gradient. It's a small detail that makes a huge difference in how professional your UI feels.
So when you put it all together, the simplicity, the power, the sheer breadth of these tools, it really feels like your UI's just got a superpower.
It completely removes the friction and lets you get back to focusing on creating delightful user experiences. Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. What will you build with it?